Oh, and that one blocked Hamill to retreat, trying to, right hand! Down goes Hamill!
How did this karate-style, ginger-haired Englishman, 15 weeks removed from spinal surgery, defeat yet another strong wrestler considered the favourite in the matchup in Magic Mike Hamill? And how has he been able to climb the ranks, putting together a string of fantastic performances at the age of 36?
Trying to retreat, trying to, right hand! Down goes Hamill! The right hand, it was really one!
Pro Striking has been working with Tim for the last 2 years, and in that time he's been on quite the run, defeating the Ultimate Fighter winner Saul Rogers, Alpha Male's Chris Gonzalez, and MMA Lab's Mike Hamill, the only man to win a round against champion Usman Nurmagomedov. Tim has a unique style that I can imagine is very difficult for opponents to prepare for. He doesn't possess the most athletic or aesthetic physique, which may lead to opponents drastically underestimating his skill set. Tim started off in karate at the age of 7 and has been a lifelong martial artist. He didn't take up mixed martial arts until into his 20s, and now, aged 36, isn't showing any signs of slowing down. Call me deluded, but I like to think of Tim as Bellator's version of Wonderboy, just the English and ginger-haired version. Tim has documented this fight camp, which you can see in various episodes over on his YouTube channel, Tim Wilde MMA. And as of this video, he has a humble following of just a few hundred subscribers, so do the man a solid and give his channel a sub. Now let's not get it twisted, as much as Tim is a striking specialist, he's still very much a mixed martial artist. With him training over at Renegade, he's had access to the best wall wrestling in UK MMA right now, with Leon Rocky Edwards taking the charge of the Renegade wrestling. Tim's wrestling scrambles and overall wrestling defence are top draw, but he can be even harder to keep down as he never accepts a bad position.
I think his understanding of mixed martial arts now is outstanding. You know, when it first came to Renegade, it was more a striker, but I think now his mixed martial arts game has improved so much over the last how many years he's been here, that I'm looking for, he's got a bright future ahead of him, you know. His unorthodox style that he's got, the in and out, the angles, it's like a touch karate kind of style. I think for wrestlers, it's one of the worst styles to deal with.
Hamill was successful in grounding the fight, but the energy he expended doing so really showed, as he was visibly fatigued between rounds. He wasn't able to progress position on the mat, and therefore he wasn't able to attack any submissions or land any significant ground and pound. When we rewind to Tim's fights with Rogers, we see he escaped 2 Peruvian neckties that looked to be signed, sealed and delivered, demonstrating that Tim is no slouch on the mat when it comes to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Shout out Renegade coach Tom Corey. So karate as a sport is best known for its kicking prowess, and Tim has shown off a wide variety of kicking attacks during his MMA career. In his bout with Gonzalez, he made good use of the spinning heel kick, with one in particular clearly rocking the alpha male fighter.
You got to really be impressed with Wilde.
He pressured Gonzalez to the cage wall, and as he circled, Tim corralled him into a right spin kick on several occasions. Tim has the flash, but that karate base are the foundations that make up his game. And what I mean by that is the footwork. You can't beat the feet. Point karate is quite an interesting style, as it may be considered unapplicable in real life self-defense, and it's certainly not considered on par with other combat sports due to it not being full contact and it lacking the flowing freestyle element of boxing or Muay Thai sparring. Fighters essentially land their point and then the action ceases, which doesn't seem to be the most realistic way to practice, seeing as if you don't knock your opponent out with a strike, they're going to hit you straight back. However, the one thing that does cross over really well, and the skill that's been incredibly important for Tim, is the in and out footwork and the fast twitch reactive style. Hit and don't stick around.
Did Tim get cut on the cheek with a clash of the heads?
Tough to say whether it was that.
To name one, he was the exact same style karate as me, which is Shotokan karate, and then Anderson Silva, George St. Pierre, a lot of really high-level strikers, fighters have come from a point scoring or a karate background. So,
in order to take you down, a wrestler needs you in front of them, and Tim is great at landing and then disappearing.
The MMA striking style that I have today.
Being a striking specialist, his target is to keep the fight on the feet. He's always looking to keep the fight standing.
The way he throws kicks can appear flicky, as a karate fighter will chamber the kick, lifting the leg first, then extending it out from the knee in a snappy fashion, rather than the drive-through from the floor approach from a Muay Thai style roundhouse. The advantage of this is it's faster, there's less of a telegraph, very important in a sport where the fight carries on once it's grounded. A well-timed caught leg, a takedown, or the risk of Tim falling off balance whilst throwing a kick means Tim would no longer be in his preferred realm. He can't afford to throw lazy or easily seen techniques.
So I was able to treetop that leg, yeah.
That's how he finally gets the takedown.
Now that's not to say Tim doesn't throw roundhouse kicks Thai style to maximise power and cause real damage, as he demonstrated with the high kick that rocked my camel. But what Wilde does is he mixes the two styles together, making it very difficult for an opponent to gauge his rhythm and timing. The leg kicks are a great strategy for any striker to utilise against a good wrestler puncher, as this stylist will be bouncing around, carrying their weight heavy on the lead leg in order to power punch or shoot, making it very difficult to defend against the kicks, aside from withdrawing the leg. When we see a Muay Thai fighter stand tall, hips high, weight on the back foot and bouncing the lead leg, it allows them to check kicks more easily. We seldom see this in MMA, as fighters have to lower their base to help defend against the takedowns and be able to punch more effectively with power. It literally took just a couple of well-placed low kicks to immobilise my camel and force him to change stance, which opened up the open side attack, which Tim took advantage of to set up his head kick. As someone that trains Tim, I've seen firsthand that he's a very stressful man to be in the cage with. The myriad of feints and fakes, him moving forwards and backwards, side to side, big looping circles around the cage, standing too far away to hit without running in full steam, the opponent risking running face first into an intercepting counter, and Tim constantly changing stances between southpaw and orthodox. He's basically a Rubik's Cube. Just when you think you've got one side complete and figured it all out, you've got another side of the cube, a complete mishmash, which forces you to reevaluate your whole strategy altogether. He's very hard to figure out, especially when you've only got a set amount of timed rounds to do so. Hence why Tim Wilde has yet to lose a decision in his entire career. Fighters don't get much of a chance to settle with Tim, meaning they get tired, and for an old boy, Tim's cardio is some of the best I've seen. He doesn't slow down. In fact, I think he'd be better suited over 5 rounds, and we'd likely see him get more stoppage wins in those 2 extra rounds. The more Tim gets into his groove, the more dangerous he becomes. With Tim just emerging to Bellator's top 10, and Bellator merging with the PFL, I'm very interested to see what lies ahead for the Englishman. Has he got what it takes to become a PFL millionaire? Or can he win the Bellator world title? Only time will tell. As always, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe. And you can head over to the Pro Striking Patreon for exclusive content and breakdowns over there. Pro Striking out, I'll catch you later.
And the real difference, that
Tim Wilde! Closer than it might have been.